So you're wondering who you should pull, Jinhsi or Changli, and who is a better investment for your account. In this video, we'll be discussing who you should pick depending on your characters and weapons to see who would benefit your account the most. Let's first start with their playstyles, because if you don't enjoy a character, there's no reason to get them because eventually you won't be able to use them anymore as they just won't be fun for you. Let's start with Jinhsi. Jinhsi is a spectral main DPS who wields a broadsword. Her playstyle basically revolves around her using her basic attacks and skills to change states and ending in a nuke from her final skill. That's a short explanation, but if you want to learn more in depth about Jinhsi and her builds, check out my full guide. I'll leave a link in the description. Now Changli is a fusion sword user who can either be played as a main DPS or a sub DPS depending on how you want to utilize her, making her more flexible than Jinhsi in that department. Her playstyle revolves around her stacking up her forte circuit by entering her true sight mode, which she can gain access to with her intro skill, basic attack 4, mid-air attack 3, and resonance skill. Then, when the gauge is full with 4 stacks, she casts her forte circuit, dealing huge damage. She also has buffs on her outro skill, giving the next teammate to take the field resonance liberation damage bonus and fusion damage bonus. Again, if you want to see more about her, check out my complete Changli guide for a more in-depth look at her kit and build. I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's talk about your account and how much value each character brings to your account. For those of you that don't plan on getting their weapons, or if you have some of the weapons that I'm about to list, you may want to hold off on pulling their signature weapons, as the damage gain for the amount of pulls may not be worth it to you. If you have already invested in Jiyan and his weapon, and were thinking of getting Jinhsi as a main DPS for your second or third team, and you don't plan on getting her weapon, Jiyan and her can actually share his Verdant Summit. Jinhsi only loses about 13 to 18% of her damage running the Verdant Summit compared to her signature Ages of Harvest from calculations I've seen. And you can even run the standard 5-star Lustrous Razor, which only loses about 20% damage compared to her signature weapon. So if you have either of these weapons on your account, Jinhsi could be a great addition without having to spend extra pulls to go for her weapon, as you have solid options. If you have the standard 5-star sword, Emerald of Genesis, which I know many people are prioritizing getting first along with the 5-star gun, so if you got it already from the selector or weapon banner, it could be a solid option for Changli if you aren't getting her weapon and already have it built for other characters like Donjin, Sanhua, and Rover. From calculations I've seen, Changli loses about 15 to 20% damage using Emerald of Genesis compared to her signature. So you may benefit from Changli on your account as you have another character who can make use of this great weapon. Next, we can talk about characters on your account and who benefits from Jinhsi and Changli. Let's first start with characters that can be used with both Jinhsi and Changli. Of course, we have Verena, which is a pretty obvious choice as she's just the best healer and buffer that we have right now, and she fits in every team. And we have Baizhi, who can be used with both as well, as she's basically a mini Verena. Next is Tao Chi because of her shielding and resonance skill damage deepen, which is the main damage source of both Jinhsi and Changli, so her buff is great for both of them. Jianshin can also work as a basic support for both of them if you wanted to, with grouping, shielding, and healing, as well as a liberation damage deepen. Now Yinlin works as a sub DPS for both. She gives a resonance liberation damage deepen on her outro, as well as offering great off-field damage through coordinated attacks, which is great for Jinhsi because it allows her to stack her incandescence faster, and she's just a great unit overall, so she works with Changli as well. And lastly, Mortify is an option for both, as he can make use of Changli's fusion and resonance liberation damage buffs, and his coordinated attacks help Jinhsi stack her incandescence faster. Now for Jinhsi specific teammates, you have Yanwu, who is actually one of Jinhsi's best teammates. He provides interruption resist and coordinated attacks, allowing Jinhsi to gain incandescence quickly, and he takes like 2 seconds of on-field time, so you get quicker rotations. One of her best teams is Jinhsi, Yanwu, and Verena, as you pretty much have full incandescence every rotation. But if you don't have Verena, you can use Baizhi instead, and there you go, you have a free-to-play team as you get both Yuanwu and Baizhi for free. And the other Jinhsi teammate is Spectral Rover, as with the new update you're able to get her S6 and gain Spectral Shred, which Jinhsi can make use of being a Spectral main DPS. Now for Changli's teammates, Of course, with her outro skill buffing fusion damage and liberation damage, it makes her a nice sub DPS for fusion damage dealers like Chisha and Encore. Chisha can make full use of both her fusion damage buffs and resonance liberation damage buffs, while Encore mainly benefits from her fusion damage buff. And if you want to try running Changli main DPS, you can use Sanhua for a quick burst of damage and basic attack deepen, which Changli can make use of as she uses a few basic attacks in her rotation. So if you have any of these characters already built and invested, or are wanting to try them, you may take it into consideration when deciding who to pull. And that's it. Hopefully I made it at least a little bit easier for you guys to make a decision based on your account and who would provide the most value for your account. Let me know who you guys are going to go for in the comments, or if you guys are skipping both of them for future characters. And if you guys like this kind of content and want to see more, consider liking the video and subscribing. It really helps. That's it for me, and I'll see you guys next time.